In a significant legal development on Friday, July 19, the High Court dismissed former Transport Minister Iswaran's bid to compel the prosecution to hand over statements from all its witnesses. This marked the second attempt by Iswaran's legal team, led by senior counsel Davinder Singh, to obtain these statements, following a similar rejection in a private hearing in June. The criminal revision was heard on July 5. Justice Vincent Hoong, presiding over the case, ruled that there was no basis in the Criminal Procedure Code (CPC) to support the defense's claim. The defense had argued that the prosecution was required to disclose all condition statements of its witnesses or draft statements of those who did not wish to sign off on condition statements. Justice Hoong clarified, the plain meaning of these words, read together, is that the prosecution is only required to include as part of the case for the prosecution such statements of the witnesses under Section 264 that it intends to admit at the trial. He also dismissed the defense's contention that there had been an abuse of process or serious injustice by the prosecution. This ruling comes as Iswaran's trial in the High Court is set to begin on August 13. Typically, corruption cases are heard in the state courts, but the prosecution successfully applied for this case to be heard in the High Court in March, signaling the seriousness and complexity of the charges. Iswaran, 62, is facing a total of 35 charges. 32 counts of obtaining valuables as a public servant, 2 counts of corruption, and 1 of obstructing justice. These charges are linked to his interactions with property tycoon Beng, known for bringing the F1 race to Singapore, and Lum Kok Seng, the managing director of Singapore-listed Lum Chong Holdings. Interestingly, neither Ong nor Lum have been charged, with the Attorney General's chambers stating that a decision regarding their cases will be made after Iswaran's trial. During the criminal revision hearing, Mr. Singh requested the prosecution to provide all condition statements, signed written statements that can be used as evidence in court, to the defense. Alternatively, he asked for draft statements or all written statements from the prosecution witnesses. He alleged that Iswaran was being singled out and discriminated against. Mr. Singh also claimed that the prosecution had initially agreed to provide the defense with condition statements when it intended to proceed with Mr. Lum's case first. However, after the defense successfully applied for all charges to be heard together in one trial, the prosecution, for the first time, asserted that they were not obligated to provide these statements. The prosecution, led by Deputy Attorney General and Senior Counsel Tai Wei Shiong, countered that the defense was mischaracterizing the prosecution's position and noted that the defense had changed its stance. Iswaran resigned from his government positions 2 days before being charged in court in January. Prior to this, he was placed on a leave of absence pending the investigation by the Corrupt Practices Investigation Bureau and was denied access to any official resources and government buildings. The charges against Iswaran are severe. He faces 32 counts under Section 165 of the Penal Code for obtaining valuable items as a public servant, 2 counts of corruption under Section 6A of the Prevention of Corruption Act, and 1 count of obstructing justice under Section 7 of the same Act. If convicted under Section 165, Iswaran could face up to 2 years in prison, a fine, or both, for each charge. Conviction under Section 6A of the Prevention of Corruption Act carries a potential punishment of up to 5 years in prison, a fine of up to 100,000 Singapore dollars, or both. For obstructing justice under Section 7, the penalty could be up to 7 years in prison, a fine of up to 100,000 Singapore dollars, or both. As this high-profile case unfolds, it will be closely watched, not just for its legal implications but also for its impact on public trust in governmental institutions. The upcoming trial will shed more light on the charges and the defense's strategy in countering them. Stay tuned to 2230 for more updates on this developing story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for the latest news coverage. We also invite you to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. What do you think about the court's decision? Do you believe the prosecution should disclose all witness statements? Your opinions matter to us, and we look forward to hearing from you.